All right. What is the equation of the horizontal line passing through the point 24? Whoop, sorry about that. 24, comma negative 78. That was pretty ugly. Okay, 24 negative 78. That would be here. 24 negative 78. Now, it said horizontal line, so horizontal line is this way. So remember, horizontal lines are y equal lines. So y equals what? Well, it's going to have to pass through that value, right? So y equals negative 78. That is the equation of the horizontal line passing through that point. Hope that helped. Question 16. Does y equal, here's an exponential, okay? Does it define y as a function of x? Well, if we have our calculator, or you may remember that the e to the x is just this graph, but notice there's a 7 there. That's not going to change it a whole lot. Minus 4. Minus 4. That's going to cause it to move it to the right some. Move it to the right some. So right a little bit. Now the question is, is it a function of x? Another way to ask the question is, does it pass the vertical line test? And the answer is yes. So the answer is, does y equal e to the 7x minus 4 define y as a function of x? Yes. Question 17. What is the slope of the line perpendicular to the line here? Okay, so it would be a smart idea that I would copy that down. I know it's a little extra writing, but you'll just have to work hard at this. Now, can you solve it for y? That's the question. All right, there's 5 ways to do this. I'm just going to move the 8x to the other side. Okay. Change side, change signs. Now I'm going to divide by a negative 9. Divide by a negative 9, divide by a negative 9. All right, my answer is y is equal to 8/9 x minus 156 over 9. Now, since I'm only concerned about the slope, I just need to look right here. What is the slope? The slope here is 8/9. Am I looking for a parallel or perpendicular? I'm looking for perpendicular, so I'm going to flip the numbers first and change it to its opposite sign. So this is the slope that I'm looking for. All right, next question. What is the value of x in the system? That's the key here, system. There's 2 equations right here. Well, remember when we're solving the system, we have to pick a procedure. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to want to get rid of the y's, or I could say the x's. Well, let's see. This is the first equation, right? Well, if I multiply this by a negative 2, that would work. Or if I multiply this by a negative 3 and then put it over here, wouldn't it be negative 3x plus 6y is equal to negative 30? All right, keep it moving. So this is going to be 2y is equal to a negative, what is that, 16? Negative 16. And now, no, negative 18. Knew something wasn't right. So y is going to equal what? Y is negative 9. But wait a minute, they wanted to know the value of what? X. Probably should have solved it for the y or the x, but that's okay. So let's plug this back in here. I would just use this top equation. X minus 2y is equal to 10. Negative 9 goes in for y. X plus 18 is equal to 10. And then x is negative 8. All right, there's your value of x. don't forget, it would be a good idea to check the answers. Okay, another question. What is the y-intercept? Remember, we just talked about that, of f of x is equal to this. It's a very good question. Now, you may remember the graph looks like this, but it's moved up 5. Okay? Normally it's 0, 1, right? Well, I could guess 5, I could guess 6, or I could just remember if I want to find the y-intercept, I plug 0 in for x. So let's do that. What's f of 0? Well, that's going to be e to the 0 plus 5. Remember, e to the 0 is 1. 1 plus 5, that's 6. So yes, the y-intercept is 0, 6. Okay, just like we thought. Okay, I'm going to pick another color here, okay? Change y equals log base 5 of 7x equals 3y to an exponential form. Okay, so please remember for the 30 millionth time, okay, how to convert that. You're going to say log base 2 of 8 equals 3. So same thing here. 5 is the base, the power is 3y, and the number's in this position right here, 7x. And that would be the exponential form. Pretty straightforward. Okay, question 21. Where is the graph of f of x equals, here's my graph, where is it increasing? Now remember, increasing means the y values go up, or the curve goes this way. Well, notice it's a parabola. It's a quadratic, so it's a parabola. It's going to have this shape. Notice that there's a 1 here, a positive 1, so it's opened up. All we have to do is figure out where this point is, and then we recognize that everything after this point is increasing. Also keep in mind that's the vertex. In order to find the x of the vertex, you do negative b over 2a. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 8. So negative b would be 8 over 2 times 1, which is 2, and that is 4. Now the question is, where is it increasing? It's increasing after the 4. This x value is 4. So how do I show after the 4? I say x is greater than 4, or I could do 4 comma infinity. Okay? Okay, what is true about the solution of the system? Notice we have two equations. Let's write the big one here. Okay. All right. I noticed we could divide everybody by 6, couldn't we here? So if I divide everybody by 6, I get 2x plus 4y is equal to 1. Okay. Now notice over here with this, I'll just write it here. Okay. Let's divide everybody by 2. 2x plus 4y is equal to 1. Now what do you notice about this equation and this equation? They are the same equation. So if this line on the coordinate plane represents this function, then this line would represent the other function. And how many solutions are there? How many places do they touch? Infinitely many. So the answer is infinite or identity. Okay, question. Rewrite ln of, that's called an argument, in terms of simpler logarithms. Now remember, there's 1, 2, 3 bases. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3 log statements. Okay, also keep in mind, here's a division, and then right here between these two is a multiplication. So the ln of x minus the ln of y minus the ln of z. That's pretty straightforward. All right, what are the intercepts of this quadratic? Well, let's see, x squared plus 5x minus 14. Of course, we could graph it, and if we graphed it, on our graphing calculus, just to make believe it went like this, wouldn't the x-intercepts be those two places? Okay? So another way of asking that question is, can you find the zeros? Okay? Now, what we're looking for is, we were looking for if we could solve this. We could use a quadratic formula, and we could, let's see if we could factor. Okay? See if we could factor. How about x plus 7 and x minus 2? Would that work? Yes, that would work. Okay, what is the answer here? Negative 7 and 2. So my answers are, for my intercepts, negative 7 and 2. I'm looking for both answers in my answer choice. Okay, given the graph of f of x equals 5x squared, now keep in mind this is x squared, so 5x squared would be more narrow, correct? Okay. Describe the graph of what? 5x squared minus 8. So that's just really a question of, do you understand this particular form? Okay. And so that minus 8 is outside. It's taking the place of that k, which moves things up and down. So it would take this graph right here, okay, and just move it down 8, okay? So that'd be a way to understand that. So I would just say simply describe, okay? It takes the initial graph and moves it down 8. Okay? All right, let's look at this problem. Solve the equation. Well, I want to move that 15 on the left side. Now the question is, can I solve that? I want to find the values. We could graph, or we could try to figure out a combination. How about this? 6 times 5 is 90, right? 60 and 30 is 90. And are there two numbers that multiply together give me 90, subtract and give me 1? 10 and 9 would work, right? So we're going to do a factor by grouping problem to assist us in factoring. One of them is a multiple of 10, so I'm going to say 10x, and then I'm going to write my 9x here. Remember that 10 has to be minus, okay? Now the question is, can I factor a 3 and an x out of the first two? 2x plus 3, and can I factor a minus 5 out of the second two? 2x plus 3. Okay, if I factored the 2x plus 3 out altogether, then I would, remember my little factor training wheels here? I'd have 3x minus 5. Okay, I got ahead of myself there. Okay, I know that's a little sloppy there. Please forgive me. Now, if I took this little equation and solved it for x, it's going to be 5 over 3. And I solve this, set it equal to 0, that will be a negative 3 over 2. That's 1.66, and that's negative 1.5. Okay, so this is a quadratic inequality. And so what we're trying to do is that we're trying to, I'm going to move this 12 over here, okay? Where is that less than 0? For example, if that was the graph, what values of x cause the function to be below the x-axis? This is where we're going to have to factor, right? How about 4 and 3? Okay. Then we're going to have to find the critical numbers. We're going to have to make a chart here, and we're going to have to pick critical numbers. It's where we're going to have to identify the test numbers here. I tested them over here. Remember, we're looking for less than 0 or negative, so that's this yellow region, and so this would be how to write the answer in interval notation. So I hope you remember how to do that.